Hey guys, if you really enjoy watching my videos and want me to post such type of content daily, then please like, subscribe, and share the channel. I love you so much. Please show love.
Velvet nights in New York. The city never really slept. From her apartment balcony on the Upper East Side, Aria watched the neon lights scatter across the skyline, the streets buzzing with life even past midnight. But inside her chest, everything felt too quiet, too heavy. Her job at a fashion magazine had drained her for weeks. Endless deadlines, shallow smiles, the constant pressure to prove herself. And then there was him, Ethan Blackwell, billionaire investor, the man who had shattered her calm with nothing more than a single glance. She remembered the gala vividly. His grey eyes had found hers across the crowded room, sharp and unreadable, and in that moment, she felt a pull she couldn't resist and hated herself for noticing it. The way he smiled, just slightly, as if he already knew her secrets. Tonight, fate was cruel enough to bring him back. Aria was late leaving the office, her heels clicking against marble floors. The elevator doors opened, and there he was, casual, untouchable, leaning against the mirrored wall as though the world belonged to him. "Aria," he said, his voice smooth, a deep rumble that slid under her skin. "Working late again?" She forced a smile, though her heart pounded. "Some of us actually earn our lives, Mr. Blackwell." He smirked, stepping closer as the elevator descended. His cologne warm, dangerous, intoxicating, wrapped around her senses. "And some of us can't stop thinking about you, no matter how late it gets." Her breath caught. She hated him. She wanted him. And when the elevator stopped on the ground floor, she should have walked away. Instead, she let him follow. His penthouse was a world apart from her modest apartment. Floor-to-ceiling windows offered a panoramic view of the city that never slept. But all she could see was him, the way the morning light glinted on his chiseled features, the shadows tracing the line of his jaw. He didn't say a word, only drew her into his arms. His lips found hers, slow at first, tasting, teasing, making her pulse race. She responded instinctively, pressing closer, tangling her fingers in his hair. Each kiss burned a trail of heat down her body. "You've been running from me," he murmured against her lips. "But I know you want this as much as I do." She gasped, shaking her head weakly. "I shouldn't, but I can't stop." And then he kissed her with all the hunger he had been holding back, his hands memorizing every curve, every line of her body. Her heels clicked against the marble floor as he led her toward the bedroom. Their bodies pressed together in a rhythm older than words. Hours passed in a blur of whispered names, heated touches and unrestrained passion. Every inch of her skin was alive under his hands, every shiver answered by a sigh that trembled between them. The city roared outside, but the only world that existed was theirs. They paused only for breath, tangled in each other on the velvet sheets. Aria's head rested against his chest, listening to the steady beat of his heart. It was frightening and thrilling all at once. How easily he had consumed her, yet how safe she felt in his arms. Ethan brushed a strand of hair from her face, his grey eyes soft now, almost vulnerable. "I've been trying to fight it," he admitted. "But you're impossible to resist. And I don't want to." Her throat tightened. She should have been angry, should have held him at arm's length. But as he pressed his lips to her temple, a shiver running down her spine, she realized she didn't want him to stop either. For the first time in years, she felt wanted, seen, alive, and as sunlight spilled over the skyline, painting the city gold, she knew that this night had changed everything. Ethan held her close, whispering promises she wasn't sure she deserved, but needed anyway. And though the city outside was busy, relentless, their world small, intimate, dangerous and passionate was perfect. The sun had barely crept above the skyline, but Arya's body still hummed with the memory of last night. Ethan's arms were wrapped around her, his chest warm, steady beneath her cheek. She could still feel the imprint of his lips, the slow, consuming fire of his touch. Ethan stirred, grey eyes opening slowly, heavy-lidded, and she felt a shiver run down her spine. "Morning," he said, voice husky, rough from sleep. "Morning," she whispered back, heart fluttering. She shouldn't be here. She shouldn't feel like this. But her body betrayed her every time he was near. He propped himself on one elbow, letting his gaze travel over her. "You look dangerous," he murmured, brushing his fingers along her arm. "I can't not want you." Her breath hitched. "You already have me," she said softly, voice trembling. And he smiled, a slow, wicked curl that made her pulse race again. "Good, because I'm not done yet." Before she could react, his lips found hers again, more demanding than before. His hands slid along her waist, tracing her curves, pulling her closer until the warmth of his body enveloped hers completely. Every touch was electrifying, every caress teasing, leaving her gasping. "Last night was just the beginning," he whispered against her ear. "I want every inch of you, every second, until you're mine entirely." Her fingers tangled in his hair as he moved with a precision that left her breathless. Every kiss, every nuzzle, every whispered word sent sparks racing through her body. Time seemed meaningless, New York outside fading to a blur of noise and light. Only him, only them existed in this small, heated world. Hours passed in a slow, intoxicating rhythm of passion. There were no interruptions, no hesitation, just pure desire, exploration and connection. Every sigh, every shiver, every soft gasp echoed in the quiet luxury of his penthouse. Later, tangled together in the sheets, Ethan's hand brushed her cheek. "You're different from anyone I've ever known," he murmured. "No walls, no pretending. Just you. And I want all of you." Arya's heart raced, knowing that she had already surrendered. "Then take me," she breathed. And he did again, and again until the skyline was painted in gold, and they were lost in a haze of pleasure, laughter and whispered confessions. Finally, they collapsed together, bodies entwined, hearts still racing. Arya's head rested on his chest, feeling the steady beat of his heart beneath her ear. For the first time in years, she didn't have to hide, didn't have to fight. Ethan held her close, lips brushing the top of her head. "We're in this," he promised. "All of it. No turning back." And for the first time, Arya believed him. She didn't want anything else but this fiery, consuming love that both scared and thrilled her. Outside, New York roared on. But inside Ethan Blackwell's penthouse, the city ceased to exist. Only the heat, the desire, and the unspoken promise of more lingered, as inevitable and unstoppable as the sun rising over the skyline. Velvet nights. Fire between us. The city lights blurred behind the floor-to-ceiling windows as Ethan pulled Arya close, his body pressing firmly against hers. The tension between them had been simmering all day, every glance, every brush of skin building into something that neither of them could ignore. "You've been teasing me all day," he murmured, lips brushing the side of her neck, his hands sliding down to cup her waist. "I can't. I won't wait any longer." Arya shivered, breath catching. "Then, don't," she whispered, letting herself melt into him, letting desire take control. His lips trailed down her shoulder, teasing, slow, igniting sparks with every touch. Her hands roamed over his broad chest, feeling the muscles beneath the crisp shirt, feeling him hard against her. Every sigh she made seemed to pull him closer. Closer until there was no space left between them. "Tell me you want this," he said, voice low, rough, vibrating against her ear. I need you," she gasped, her fingers threading through his hair as she pressed herself fully against him. And then he kissed her, full and claiming, hands roaming, exploring, teasing. Every touch made her heart race. Every gentle bite along her collarbone sent waves of fire through her. She arched into him instinctively, lost in the sensation of him hungry, patient, relentless. They moved together to the bedroom, bodies entwined, limbs tangled, the soft glow of the city casting shadows over their skin. Ethan's lips never left hers, and his hands seemed to memorize every curve, every inch of her body, pleasuring her slowly, methodically. She responded in kind, tracing his chest, teasing his neck, whispering his name in breathless gasps. Hours passed in a haze of stolen touches, whispered names, slow, deliberate exploration. Every kiss, every brush of skin, every heated groan, drew them deeper into a world that existed only for them. It was raw. It was real. It was everything they had both been craving without even admitting it. When they finally collapsed against the sheets, bodies slick and tangled, hearts racing, Ethan held her close, lips brushing her temple. "You're mine," he murmured, voice heavy, satisfied but still full of desire. "All of you." Arya closed her eyes, her body still tingling from every touch, every kiss, every whisper. "Yours," she whispered back, feeling safe, consumed and utterly alive. Outside, New York sparkled like never before. Inside, the room still smoldered from the fire they had made passionate, unrelenting and completely theirs. Velvet nights. Heat of the night. The city hummed below, but in Ethan's penthouse, the world had shrunk to just the two of them. Arya's skin still tingled from the memory of his hands on her. And now, with him looming above her on the velvet sheets, the anticipation was unbearable. Ethan leaned down, lips brushing hers, slow, teasing. "You've been driving me crazy," he murmured, hands sliding along her curves, memorizing her body all over again. Arya's fingers traced the line of his jaw, tugging lightly at the dark stubble, feeling his pulse quicken beneath her touch. "And you've been tormenting me all day," she whispered, her voice thick with desire. He captured her lips in a deep, claiming kiss, their tongues dancing together, exploring, teasing, sparking fire that ran straight through her. Every brush of his teeth along her lower lip made her gasp. Every hand, every caress, every whispered moan drew them closer to the edge. Her hands roamed over his chest, feeling the taut muscles, the warmth beneath, teasing him as much as he teased her. Ethan groaned, pressing himself closer, his lips leaving a trail down her neck, her collarbone igniting every nerve ending. "You're so perfect," he murmured against her skin. "So responsive. I want to feel every inch of you." Arya arched instinctively, letting her body respond to his touch. She ran her hands along his back, tugging him closer, pressing herself fully against him, matching every motion, every heat-filled rhythm. Their breaths mixed, moans and gasps filling the room, echoing off the walls, the city outside fading into nothing. Hours passed like seconds, a slow, intoxicating dance of desire. They explored each other, teasing, pleasuring, savoring every moment, every soft groan, every whispered name. Nothing was rushed, every touch lingered, every sigh mattered, every heartbeat sensed. When finally they collapsed, spent, sweaty, tangled in sheets and each other's arms, Ethan pressed his forehead to hers. "You," Overwhelm me, he murmured, voice husky but soft. Arya smiled, lips brushing his. And you, consume me, she whispered back. I don't ever want this to end. Velvet nights. Soft embers. The room was quiet, save for the soft hum of the city below. Arya lay curled against Ethan, her body still tingling from the intensity of the night. He held her close, fingers gently brushing through her hair, lips grazing her temple, each touch tender, lingering. You're still warm, Ethan murmured, voice low, rough from sleep and passion. I could stay like this forever. Arya nuzzled closer, her hands tracing lazy patterns over his chest. Don't stop, she whispered, heart still racing. Even like this, I want you. He chuckled softly, the sound vibrating through her. You're impossible, he said, pressing a lingering kiss to the top of her head. Then, teasing, he brushed his lips along her shoulder, over her collarbone, eliciting soft gasps from her. But I like impossible. Arya tilted her head, letting him explore, letting herself melt into the sensations. His fingers traced along her spine, warm and demanding, igniting sparks wherever they touched. Their bodies were entangled, but the heat wasn't just from desire, it was the safety, the trust, the unspoken understanding between them. You don't know what you do to me, Ethan whispered, voice heavy with emotion, lips brushing hers. Every time, every touch, I lose control. Then don't, Arya breathed back, hands threading through his hair, pulling him closer. I don't want control. I want this, us. And so they stayed, wrapped in each other, exploring slowly, deliberately, teasing and pleasuring each other with soft touches, whispered words, and lingering kisses that promised more. Every movement was intimate, every sigh, every shiver a conversation of its own. Hours passed unnoticed. The city roared on, but inside Ethan's penthouse, time had slowed. Their passion softened into tenderness, the fire still burning, but tempered by warmth, trust, and the quiet thrill of being entirely theirs. Ethan pressed one last kiss to her forehead. You're mine, he murmured, and this time, there was no need to claim her in words, she already knew. Arya smiled against his chest, heart full, body tingling, and whispered, and you're mine too, always. Outside, New York shimmered, unaware of the raw, intimate storm that had passed, leaving only embers of heat, passion, and love.